Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. I'm one half of the podcast crew here, Chad Bumgarner, and I have with me my right hand man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
Hey, Pete, with that, let's go ahead and get into it, my brother.
And as always, our podcast is brought to you by CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if there is a specific topic that you want to hear us weigh in on, if you want to hear our thoughts, views, and opinions about, or if you know of a way or think of something that can help make this podcast better for your listening and viewing pleasures, please do not hesitate to contact us at our email account at ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. And it is not too late, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you like our podcast, please hit the smash the like and subscribe button, like the page, and share with your friends, family, and everyone, man, because we always try to find topics that appeal to our community, our culture, things that we feel like you may need to be aware of and understand what's going on so that you can take a deeper look into it and form your own opinion. So with that, go ahead, Pete. Yep.
And just to remind people as well, our listeners as well, we're on all streaming platforms as well. Your Spotify, your iTunes. So we're on all streaming platforms as well.
Indeed. Now, the two topics we have today, guys, they're very interesting. I'll say that. The first one we're talking about is Pastor Bishop Barber out of North Carolina, who is the head guy for the People's now I can't even think of it. The Poor People's
Rights Campaign.
Poor People's Rights Campaign. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was an article that came out the other day about him trying to attend the screening or the movie premiere of The Color Purple, the musical that just came out, with his 90-year-old mother, and for the reason, let me just say, he was escorted out because they did not want to allow him to bring in his chair for medical purposes, mind you. So we'll talk about that and how that transpired, and then we're gonna go on to one of the future Republican potential president candidates, Nikki Haley. Looks like she's been doing some walking the dog early. Looks like she's backpedaling on amid the criticism after omitting slavery from the Civil War causes. She got hit with that question, and we'll get into it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Nikki and let you hear, what all transpired, and then we'll get into our opinions based on that topic. So, all right, those are the two that we have for you today. So we're gonna start with Pastor Bishop Barber. The AMC apologizes to North Carolina civil rights leader removed from the Color Purple screening over a seating issue. Looks like AMC Theatres very quickly apologized to civil rights leader who was escorted out of the screening of The Color Purple in North Carolina by police after he tried to bring in his own chair he uses for arthritic disability. The Reverend William J. Barber II, a minister and former president of the North Carolina's NAACP state chapter, attended a screening of the highly anticipated new film, The Color Purple. And this is from NBCnews.com. In Greenville with his 90-year-old mother on Tuesday. Barber, who is 60, suffers from ankylosing spondylitis. It's a chronic form of arthritis that causes inflammation in the joints and ligaments of the spine, according to the National Institutes of Health. He brought in his own chair to the theater, something he's done in the past because he's unable to sit in a wheelchair or in lower chairs. And this is what he told the Religion News Service. He said, "My chair has been everywhere," he told the outlet, "in hospitals and restaurants and airports, in the White House and in Congress. It's a need that I have because I face a very debilitating arthritic condition." So he apparently had some words with the authorities at the AMC Theater, and they called in the cops. And, he explained to the cops what was going on. But before that, he had some words with the people at the AMC
Mm-hmm.
basically accusing them of being discriminatory against him and his chair, or disabled people,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. And in true fashion of privilege, they come back saying, why do you have to make a big deal out of this? Why can't you just, you know, why can't you just leave or just sit in a regular chair? But uh, if Reverend Barber already explained to you one time, I have this
Mm-hmm.
chronic arthritic disease.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why I can't sit in these lower chairs, because
Mm-hmm.
my back and my joints will become inflamed. I have to sit in this special chair for me to allow me to be comfortable so that my joints and my spine don't get inflamed. I want to enjoy the movie. I don't want to sit here
Right.
in pain. I don't understand where the disconnect was with what
Mm-hmm.
with his explanation, Pete, and their response. They is in the AMC theaters. Now, according to
Right.
reports, based on Reverend Barber, he was saying that the police, they came to the scene, they were very respectable. They didn't cause any problems, you know what I'm saying? He said
Mm-hmm.
they left once they got outside. Once they understood the whole story, they left.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, the back and forth with Reverend Barber and the AMC authorities, um, Reverend Barber is telling them, this is a form of discrimination, but the management at the theater claimed that the chair was a fire code violation, and the theater only accommodated wheelchairs. He told the employees, Reverend Barber, I've
Mm-hmm.
never had an issue bringing this chair elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And based on the Americans with Disabilities Act, which prohibits discrimination based on disability, requires theaters to make accommodations. Now, when somebody starts spitting laws
Oh boy, here we go, man.
and you are not educated in law,
Wow.
how do you have a comeback for that? Because now the manager's saying, well, why are you making this a big why are you making a big deal out of this issue?
Because you made it an issue. Just let me go in here, watch this 2.5 hour movie with my mama, and let me go home.
It should have never escalated to the police being there, because the
Chad,
AMC theaters were not equipped to handle Reverend Bishop Barber's um, situation.
Chad. The point that the statement that I'm stuck on in you in that article is, you're telling me a wheelchair can come into this theater and sit, and people in wheelchairs have a designated area
Mm-hmm.
in the theater where
They
they can
do.
sit. A wheelchair can be in here, but a chair that I can, you see
That's
where I'm going?
designed for my condition
It's
can't.
designed for my condition, such as the same as a wheelchair.
Right.
It's not permitted, but a wheelchair is.
He didn't come in there with a couch. He came in with a chair. This chair, I'm pretty sure, I have not seen it, but I'm pretty sure this chair could fit in the wheelchair slot
Mhm.
that they have for people with disabilities who can't sit in
Right.
the regular chairs. I
Exactly.
I don't understand why he couldn't just put that chair in the wheelchair slot and let that man watch the movie with his mama.
They said he even moved out of the way in the corner to make sure that he was not in anybody's way, that he was not, what I'm saying, not going to be impeding anyone.
Hey, how is it a fire code? Because that's it, based on the article. That's what the manager replied back to him, saying it was a fire code.
Okay.
How is it a fire code if I can put my chair where the wheelchair slot is?
Made for wheelchairs.
Made for wheelchairs. So if I
So
came in here with a
so
wheelchair, it'd have been good. But because my chair is not shaped or look like a wheelchair, then it's a fire code issue.
and a wheelchair isn't.
I'm trying to understand, Pete. You got to help me out.
Chad, I am sitting here struggling to understand as a manager of of an AMC theater.
Mm-hmm.
How can you even put that together? So if his chair is a fire hazard, guess what? Wheelchairs are a fire hazard.
Right.
I mean, Chad, am I
No,
thinking wrong here?
because
Or
I've been to several theaters. The seating is fairly the same.
Mhm.
So I don't know where he could have put that chair that would have made it a fire hazard or
Yeah.
fire code issue. I don't. There's a whole row for people with disabilities where they can park the wheelchairs.
Mhm.
So if I come in with my chair and park it in one of those slots, I should be good.
I mean, you would think.
But it's a fire code.
Chad, this is what happens when you don't know who people are. And this gentleman or young lady who was the manager of this AMC found out really quickly.
But Pete, even Reverend Bishop Barber said it's not even about me. It's about people with disabilities.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the point. And further, that even makes me even question now, why him? Why Dr. Barber? And I know you don't know, he or she doesn't know Dr. Barber from Adam's House Cat.
Right.
But if this man is showing you, I mean, if you've seen Dr. Barber or you know Dr. Barber, you already know that he is disabled. If you've ever seen Dr. Barber or see him try to walk, I've seen him on walkers and canes and also sort of things. I've met Dr. Barber on several occasions.
Okay.
So he's definitely disabled. You can clearly see when he walks that he's disabled.
Mm-hmm.
So by you being a manager, seeing this, it makes me think that you're looking at a disabled person with his own special chair for his disability.
Mm-hmm.
You look past all of that. Why you mess with that black man like that? Well, that's the only thing I can figure. That's the only thing I can figure is this black man is trying to come in here and sit in this specialized seating section. That's all I can figure, Chad, because again, if you've ever seen Dr. Barber, if you've ever met Dr. Barber, you clearly know he has a disability.
But my thing is, and let me be clear. I understand what you're saying. It is a easily physical thing to see with Dr. Barber that he is disabled. Right.
Yes.
So normal people, especially working in the service environment, would generally change up and try to figure out how to accommodate. Chad. Because you see that this man is potentially, or not potentially, is struggling to walk.
How can I help you? That should be your first question. That's it. Sir, how can I help you? And accommodate you? Where do you want to sit? That's most comfortable for you.
And then let me show you the areas where we have designated and make sure that works for you.
Chad, that's it. That should have been the only thing that happened in that situation. Removing who Dr. Barber is out of the equation.
Right.
That's
he's a disabled human being. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? In the service field and as a fellow human.
Yeah.
Now, you know, a lot of people who are disabled will let you know if they need help or not. But the thing is, initially you go in saying, "How can I help you?" And someone be like, "I got it." Then you give them that respect and let them do their thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it seems like, again, being in the service industry, this is the movie theaters, and the management coming out, it seems like you would want to be like, "How can I help?" Because nobody said there's some menaces out here throwing popcorn or talking loud. That was not the case. You had a disabled person trying to go into the movie with their loved one to watch a movie.
And then on top of that, Chad, what even makes me even think more this was more about the black man than the disabled man was, what's the old trope that they do in most cases? We're going to call the police.
It's the first thing.
To try
They went straight to escalation.
It went straight to escalating the police. Why the police called?
There was no need. There was no need for the police at all.
Again, further letting me know that maybe, and this is just me thinking, so why did you call the police? There are two wrongs here by this manager. First of all, not offering assistance to help this disabled person out. Again, we're stripping Dr. Barber out of this.
Right.
A disabled person. And then when you're met with resistance, because this person is proving and showing you that I'm a disabled person, I have a special seat that I have to sit in. After I've explained that to you, your first thought is to call the
cops on a disabled person. That's really? to me that's disrespectful.
That is so disrespectful, Chad.
So, based on the article, Reverend Barber said it should have never escalated, and he should have never been threatened to be charged with trespassing. First of all, he paid to go. He bought a ticket.
I paid my money.
Right. I was gonna say he paid that. That's why I want to come back after that. First of all, he paid his money to go. He bought a ticket, and then he paid to make sure that they had handicapped spaces. This man is not new to this. He's disabled. He knows what he has to go through in order to make sure that he's accommodated. And you're going to threaten him with trespassing? Then he says the law is clear. Title III of the ADA prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability. We're not even talking about his ethnicity. We're talking about his physical ability.
Exactly. And that carries more weight than his ethnicity. That carries more weight. That's why he said the Disabilities Act and not as a black man. Because even Dr. Barber knows his disability is going to carry more weight than his skin color.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he also go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
No. Please.
So again, like you just said, he's not new to this. This is nothing new to this man. So again, you not only did you disrespect a disabled person, you got the right one today.
Exactly.
You got the right disabled person today.
Exactly.
Man.
You will never forget this man again. I promise you that.
Dr. Barber will never, whatever AMC that is in Greenville, he could just walk in and any movie showing.
They're not saying nothing.
Nothing. You ain't got to look. Look, I call ahead, have my popcorn ready when I get.
I was about to say they're gonna shut down the doggone candy and popcorn station. Be like, hold up, we'll be back with y'all in a minute. Reverend Barber, what you want to go see?
What you need, Dr. Barber?
We got your theater waiting for you. Not your seat. Yes, we got your theater waiting for you.
We cleared it out for you and your mother. Enjoy
and whoever else want to come.
and you enjoy the show. It's on us. Enjoy the show.
The least we could do.
Yeah, exactly.
But he said when the cops got there, he said he would voluntarily leave after he paid to go. After he paid to ensure that there was a space for him because he was disabled. Even after the escalation called the cops, that didn't have to happen. And he's threatened with trespassing. And this man can barely move. How are you going to threaten him with trespassing? Are you serious? Then the cops get there. And Reverend Barber says, I will voluntarily leave. Because he didn't want to cause no scene.
Right.
He never wanted to cause a scene.
I just want to watch this.
The manager caused the scene.
Yeah.
Because the manager was stubborn, had an ego.
Yep.
And because that brother knew the law, if you ask me, that's what pissed him off. When Reverend Barber started quoting Title III, Section this, ADA states, oh, now you don't really piss the manager off. because he ain't got nowhere else to go. He's not going to sit there and say, you know what, I apologize. Let me see how I can fix this. See, some of them are so stubborn and so egotistical that it's too much of them to apologize because they know they're wrong. So they're going to fall on the sword before they say, I'm sorry. So now that person is looking at a new job, and he better be grateful he ran into this one, because Reverend Barber in the article says he is forgiven. Most people would have brought them up on charges for discriminatory, for discrimination. So I don't know. It's still early.
Hold on, Chad. Let's not go. There's another part of this story, sir, that you've left out. We need to get to talk about that.
Okay. What?
Okay. Let's talk about the CEO of AMC immediately.
Not immediately. Immediately. Yes, he did.
Having a press release, sent out a press release saying that I'm flying to Greenville myself to apologize to Dr. Barber.
CEO Adam Aaron.
The CEO of AMC.
Yeah.
He knew what was going. He knew what was getting ready to happen. He knew exactly what was getting ready to happen. Because again, first of all, Dr. Barber is disabled. First of all. Second of all, he's Dr. Barber. Y'all may not know him, but that's the CEO of AMC knew who he was.
And let me tell you why the CEO knew, because in the article it says AMC's chairman CEO Adam Aaron had already telephoned him and plans to meet with him in person in Greenville, North Carolina next week to discuss both the situation and the good works Bishop Barber is engaged in throughout the years. That CEO did his homework real quick and was like, you know what? This ain't the smoke we want.
Nah, this is not what we want.
This ain't the smoke we want. And the good work that he has done throughout the years, not last week or last month, throughout the years. This man and his team did their damn homework.
Bruh, he knew it. Look,
they found out who he was really quick.
That CEO, when like I said, he may have not known who Dr. Barber was, but when he did that Google search and saw who that man was, we need to go ahead and rectify this immediately.
Yep.
So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to fly to Greenville personally and apologize to this man for the disrespect. Because guess what?
And thank him for all the work that he's done.
All the work.
Throughout the years. That's like a Negro hymn. Throughout the years, the Lord's been good to me. Down through the years.
Chad, I'm trying to tell you, do you not realize what this could have done to AMC Theatres?
Bro, could have drove them slam up out of there. It ain't gonna take one boycott from him.
Not only boycott, but lawsuit. First of all, again, Dr. Barber, let's start. We don't even have to go into race. This man is disabled. That alone. And then his name. Man, listen.
That CEO knew what he was doing. Very smart.
Dr. Barber Theaters coming soon. Coming to a neighborhood near you very soon. Dr. Barber would have owned AMC Theaters.
Yeah, bro. Easily.
Dr. Barber knew it, and the CEO of AMC knew it. That's why Dr. Barber said, "We good. I'll leave."
Now he's got AMC in his pocket.
As soon as he walked out of that door, he got his lawyer on the phone.
Yeah, he already made it. As soon as he walked out, he got all the leverage he needed, and he don't have to sue them because he's got AMC in his pocket.
Yeah. There's going to be all kinds of special showings in that Greenville. All kinds of special showings in that Greenville.
Stuff they can't show nowhere else.
Stuff that they can't show. No, they're going to show it now. I'm trying to tell you. Man, that manager messed with the right one. And he found out. And I'm sure that manager is probably somewhere putting in applications as we speak.
Mad because he didn't get his way.
because you can't make a mistake like that and keep your job.
Mm-mm.
It would have been bad enough if it was a person, and not saying that Dr. Barber is above anybody else, but Dr. Barber's not your average Joe.
Right. It carries a little weight, carries a little different weight.
Exactly. So if this would have happened to an average person, the CEO is not flying out.
No, he might send a letter, but he ain't flying out.
It's not even gonna be a letter. It's gonna be an email, and it may not even be an email.
Right.
Depends on what the lawsuit, if you sue him or not. But who Dr. Barber is, having a disability, sent this CEO into damage control. Chad, what he say he was gonna do?
He said he's gonna fly out there personally.
And do what?
And he's gonna meet with Dr. Barber and discuss both this situation and the good works that Bishop Barber is engaged in throughout the years.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm trying. It's a wonderful thing.
It is.
It's a wonderful thing. Dr. Barber is a man of God, and evidently, Dr. Barber has arrived. I haven't. I couldn't. No. Nah, you got to see me.
Yeah, you got to break me off. Yeah,
you got to see. What did she say? Break me
off. Yeah,
Chad, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a man of discipline. I respect that because, like I said,
yes, sir.
And not that he's gonna use it for any ill will, but technically, he's now got them in his back pocket. He's got leverage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, anywhere from doing things for the Black community,
scholarships,
fundraising,
jobs,
and that's going to be, and I'm sure that's going to be part of the discussion.
Indeed.
Okay, since I've done all this good work, what good work can you do for me in the community?
What does your board look like? How diverse is your board?
Exactly. What can you do for the poor people out here in these communities? Let's start with Greenville. Let's start at home. It's gonna be so much.
Can you sponsor a park? Can you help out the rec center? Can you help provide financially some dollars for services that the poor people need, whether it's psychiatric, whether it's health, whether it's education,
food.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Yes, sir. And guess what that the CEO of AMC is going to say? Anything you need, sir.
I'm gonna call in some favors if I need to.
Anything you need, sir. Look, you put me on your speed dial. Anything you need, sir.
This is my personal cell.
Please don't sue us, sir.
And don't put us back in the spotlight.
Please,
and we got you.
We got you. Anything you need, good sir.
God bless you, Pastor. God bless you.
And let me go out here and talk about the many things you've done.
Well, hey, Bishop got his own disciple now.
I'm trying to tell you.
He got his own disciple now.
Yes, sir.
That CEO, he gonna be. Not enough people know about your program, but I'm gonna make sure they do.
Yeah,
do that.
You do that, good sir. Thank you, sir.
Do that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, CEO. Man, they messed with the right one, and I'm glad. I'm glad that they messed with the right one, because at the end of the day, this is going to really probably help a lot of people. Because again, AMC is going to put, with this going on, I'm sure they're going to put their money where their mouth is, for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. They do not want that smoke.
They do not want it at all.
Wishing and praying the best for Bishop Barber, Reverend Barber.
Yes, sir.
For the best. And we will now move on, folks, ladies and gentlemen, to the next topic that we were talking about, the potential presidential candidate, Nikki Haley, who hails from South Carolina, former governor. of
No,
South
she
Carolina.
is no.
Oh, she is current governor.
She
Okay.
is. Yeah,
Well, I
she's
thought she had to
candidate.
forego that if she was going to run.
What's that?
Don't you have to relieve yourself of that duty if you're going to
Well,
run
well,
for?
she's not. She's not the governor of South Carolina anymore. No.
Okay, yeah.
No. Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
said
So
former
yeah,
governor, right?
yeah, yes, former governor. So yeah,
Okay.
she doesn't have to relieve. She didn't have. Well, she wasn't governor anyway.
Okay.
She had already been, given that duty up. So
Gotcha.
yeah, she is definitely a candidate for the Republican nomination
for presidency. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it looks like Nikki Haley backpedaled amid criticism after omitting slavery from Civil War causes. This took place in Berlin, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
The Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley declined Wednesday to say slavery was a cause of the Civil War, arguing instead that it came down to, quote unquote, the role of government. At a New Hampshire town hall, a voter bluntly asked Haley, what was the cause of the Civil War? She gave a lengthy answer, but did not mention slavery.
Hey, Chad, hold on. Let me put a pin in that right there.
Sure.
You said lengthy answer means word salad. Go ahead. That's what it was. It was a word salad.
She says, and I quote, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do, end quote. She said this at the beginning of her response. Now, on Thursday, she appeared to backpedal, saying in a radio interview, good morning, New Hampshire, that, of course, the Civil War was about slavery, and that her comments reflect what it means to us today. What it means to us today is about freedom. That's what this was all about. It was about individual freedom, she said. It was about economic freedom. It was about individual rights. You doggone right, because we're talking about slavery. You talking about everything under the umbrella of the main point. It was about individual freedom. It was. It was about economic freedom.
Of
the enslaved people. You doggone right. And a lot of people want to say the Civil War was because of states' rights. You can say that, but continue the statement. Don't leave it as it is. Because states' rights included the ability to own slaves. That's why they was pissed. Go ahead, Pete.
It was the only state right, Chad. Why is it so hard for people to just tell the truth about slavery? Why is it so hard to just tell the truth about the Civil War and what it was over? Why can't people just tell the truth about why the southern states wanted to secede from the Union in the 1800s?
Say that again.
Chad, it's tiring to hear people banter and talk about the Civil War and it was about states' rights. Yes, it was about states' rights. The southern states to own slaves. That's why they want to leave the Union.
That's right.
That's what it was all about. The whole civil rights was about that.
Because they was getting free labor and making hand over fist down there in the South.
Yeah.
And some spots in the North. Let's not fool ourselves. It was still going on in the North too, but it was prevalent in the South. And the South is now saying, wait a minute, you want us to end slavery? How are we going to get paid? How are we going to eat? How are we going to do this? Because we got free labor down here. Now you saying end slavery? We got to pay them? We got to treat them? Heck no. I tell you what, we just won't be part of the Union. How about that? Because we ain't giving up this free labor.
Oh, but they wanted to secede from the Union because of slavery. Because the northern states decided, for my good listeners and viewers, all you need to do, since Nikki, we're gonna call her Nikki.
There it is, Nikki.
Was the governor of South Carolina, was born and raised in South Carolina. So you would think the governor of South Carolina would know South Carolina history, correct, Chad?
Basic South Carolina history, correct.
Basic South Carolina, correct. The first paragraph.
Which paragraph?
And the first.
Okay.
And the article of the article of South Carolina wanting to secede from the Union plainly states that they are upset with the northern states because they want to end slavery and they're not following the Constitution.
Can you do you have it pulled up? Can you read that first paragraph?
Hold on,
because like I say, we try to do our due diligence here. And I know off air we had talked about it. And
okay.
You had brought that up and made a good point. So I want you to get the glory on this, and I want you to read the first paragraph of the Constitution. Go ahead.
It's not even about
no,
glory.
It's not.
It's about knowing the
it's about
history.
Truth and his right.
And let's talk about why South Carolina wanted to secede from the Union.
Tell them where you got this from, Pete, because we want to give truth. We're not making this stuff up.
This is from the National Constitution Center. This is from their webpage. Okay, let's get past the summary. Let's get to the document excerpt. The state of South Carolina, having resumed her separate and equal place among nations, deems it due to herself, to the remaining United States of America, and to the nations of the world, that she should declare the immediate causes which have led to this act, meaning seceding from the Union. And increasingly hostility on the part of the non-slave holding states, that's in the first sentence, of the institution of slavery, this is the first sentence, has led to the disregard of their obligations, and the laws of the general government have ceased to affect the objects of the Constitution. The states of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa have enacted laws which either nullify the acts of Congress or render useless any attempt to execute them. In many of these states, the fugitive, the slave, is discharged from service or labor claim, and in none of them has the state government complied with the stipulation made in the Constitution. That's the first paragraph.
I'm finna make a really sharp turn, because you said a word that bothered me, and it has nothing to do with. It kind of does with the whole slavery thing. They labeled the enslaved people fugitives.
What is a fugitive, Chad?
Keep me honest here. A fugitive, my understanding, is someone who fled from their home country to another country due to acts of violence where they came from, whether it's government, whether it's personal, whatever the case is. There's a war or famine or something broke out in their home country, and they're fleeing to another country for aid and assistance. Am I on point? Am I in the ballpark?
Yeah. You're all inside the ballpark, sir.
Okay. So number one, it's already written incorrectly, because we were taken against our will from our own homeland, where we were fine being to begin with. But they took us against our will and brought us over here and forced us into a life that we did not agree to. That is not a fugitive. That is a slave. Matter of fact, that's kidnapping.
Basically, yes, sir.
That's kidnapping. So, but anyway, back to the first paragraph. Yes, the Civil War was due to slavery, or the ability to continue to own slaves. Because anybody that has free labor is going to get paid.
Yes, sir.
And the South
was built on the back of slavery. How do you think the South became so rich?
So quick. So rich, so quick. We leapfrogged a lot of countries to get to being a superpower early, all because of the 400 years of free labor.
Yes, sir.
And I saw this meme a while back. It said, it's funny how, when we were enslaved and given free labor, all was well. But when it stopped and we demanded to be paid and be equal, now we're lazy.
Right. Exactly.
That is interesting. But anyway, let's get back on track. So yes, so Nikki Haley, um, she walks her statement back and is saying, of course, the Civil War was about slavery. But what it means to us today is about freedom. It's always meant freedom to us. What do you mean us? It's always meant freedom to the enslaved people. Nobody wanted to come here, number one. Number two, since we over here, can we just live our life in peace? Have our own land?
But I mean, we wasn't brought here for that.
No.
So again, yeah, we were never brought here to have a better life. We didn't. We wasn't brought here for that. We were brought here to work and do all the work the white people didn't want to do. That's why we were brought here.
Right.
So for Nikki Haley to be so disingenuous and so just not telling the truth about the situation because you want to pander to the MAGA right, it's laughable to me. That's who you're trying to appeal to.
And isn't she an immigrant? I mean, I know you said she was born and raised there, but didn't her parents come over here?
Guess why the only reason her parents were here? Because the Civil Rights Act. Isn't that something? Isn't that? You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for the Civil Rights Act.
And that's funny because Black people were the main source behind the Civil Rights Act. The writers, the pushers, and the people who benefited most was everybody except the Black people.
Yeah.
The Chinese and the Asians have us to thank for the Civil Rights Act.
White women.
And they were the number one recipients
of the Civil
Rights Act.
I mean, so Nikki, instead of, and this is
Pete, Pete, we're not doing that. What's her government name?
What, Nicka Marita? I can't say it. I don't want to disrespect her.
Okay.
Nimarita, something. But we gonna call her Nikki. Because I don't want to disrespect her name because I really can't pronounce it, so I don't want to disrespect her in that way.
Well, she wants to be more American anyway. That's why she's saying Nikki.
Yeah, and they've said, and I've heard that she was been called Nikki since she was in middle school. So they started that transformation
because she didn't force people to respect her name. But I digress.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just really hard for me to just. I mean, I have no expectations of Nikki Haley at all. But just to sit there and not answer the question, you can even go back to, I think it's like 2010, she was talking to some conservative group about the Civil War. And even then she was saying it wasn't about slavery. So this is par for the course for her. But to be on the presidential stage and not admit to what the real is, just to appease a certain group of people, how can you lead a country?
Well, and that's the other thing.
When you're not trying to serve everyone, you can't even tell the truth about the Civil War.
Well, here's the deal with that, Pete. Like you said before, she's gone back and forth about this before. So the thing that her followers need to be concerned about is her consistency.
Exactly.
She's not consistent. So if she's not consistent on that, what else is she not going to be consistent on?
And this was a layup.
Easy
layup. You say slavery and keep it pushing, and there's no issue. But no, you wanted to beat around the bush and not say it to appease other people. You get called out for it.
That's my thing, Pete.
Like Deion.
Ooh, that's some backpedaling. You talking about the GOAT. How is it that you can say it now, but you couldn't say it then? What changed?
You got
Because
called
if it
out
was
on
that
it.
easy, you should have said it to begin with.
You got called out on it. Because the people you were in the room with, you thought this was not going to go viral. You're running for president of the United States. Everything that you put out on tape is going to be scrutinized.
On the internet
Are you
and scrutinized, correct.
Are you kidding me? You're running for the highest office in the land, and everything you say is going to be scrutinized.
And
The only
so,
person, the only person that can get away with foolishness is old boy.
mhm.
Because the
And
only reason he gets away with it is because the media, he makes the media money.
right,
So they're not
right.
going they're not going to go against the cash cow. He makes them money.
Well, and
So he can say crazy and outlandish stuff and get away with it. Because guess what? The next day the media is going to be talking about him again.
they are.
So
But then
so
Nikki is saying that, the guy that asked her about that was a Democratic implant, like
and and
Biden's people are sending people to set up and ask these questions, and I'm like, you Pete, and answer the question.
I don't care who it was. He asked you a simple question.
Legit question.
What was the cause of the civil rights? I mean,
The Civil War.
Civil War. Excuse civil rights.
Because see,
Civil
he
War.
heard what you said before, and he's trying to see if you're gonna be consistent with your statement, and you failed the test.
Yeah, but she was consistent about not answering the question. Because even back in 2010, she wouldn't answer the question.
But then she came
So
back Thursday and answered the question. See what I'm saying? The consistency is more flopping. Now I ain't saying she the only one that's flopping. That's not what we're trying to say here.
I want you to stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
You said what you said. Stand on it 10 toes down. You would have been better off if she'd have been better off if she had stood on it. Instead of going back and saying, well, of course it was about slavery.
Well, what do you think it is? Don't flip it back on the person asking the question, because now it sounds like you don't know what the hell you talking about.
And then don't be so flippant in your
response. Yeah.
Response. Of course we knew it was about slavery. Really? Because in your first answer, it was everything but slavery in that word salad that you spit on. you know. So again, Nikki, are you trying to be the Republican nominee or not? That's the only question. You're not doing a good job. Because first of all, you're not, as Chad said, you're not consistent. And you're not a truth teller. Tell the truth. And it might hurt people's feelings. Because there's a lot of people like you, Nikki, who don't want to tell the truth about the Civil War. It's a lot of them. I've had discussions with many people that don't look like me, that I've had to break down about the Civil War and what it was and why it was started. So you're not the only one, Nikki. But you're different from everybody else because you're trying to be the president of the United States.
And if you're running for anything, you, like Pete said, you got to, like the kids in the street nowadays, you got to stand on business.
Stand on it.
You got to stand on it. Say what you say. And if you made a mistake, own it. People, I mean, yo, the average Joe is out here looking for honesty. And they're looking for a leader who's going to stand on what they stand on, whether they like it or not. Because you hear a lot of people say, hey, man, I ain't too keen on Trump. But the thing is, he stand on what he say, and that's it. I respect him for that. I don't like the dude, but he say what he say, and he stand on it. And a lot of people don't like that, but you got to respect that aspect. I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. Whether you agree with it or not, at least you can respect the fact that this person is believing in what they're saying, and they consistent with it. You don't have to believe it.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to
believe it.
But, I ain't got no
but like Pete said, stand on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just stand
I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I respect the fact that you standing on it. That foolishness.
Yeah, just stand on your foolishness. That's all. That's all.
If you're gonna be so bold to say it, stand on
it. That's all. Even in being wrong.
And it's okay to come back and say, hey, go ahead.
And then all you have to do is apologize and not be flippant. Because now you're disrespecting my ancestors. Of course we knew it was about slavery.
Hold on.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Now you're disrespecting my ancestors. Now that's another problem. So again, Nikki, you can't do what he do.
You really can't.
None of y'all can do what he do because y'all don't y'all don't make the media money. He does. So he can say the crazy, outrageous stuff. Be different. Be different. Separate yourself from that foolishness and be different. You can't say what he says. You can't do what he do. Just be different. Instead of appeasing his people, give his people another route to go.
Please.
They're not gonna. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna be swayed. We've seen that. But give them another avenue, another option other than foolishness. You're giving foolish vibes, Nikki. You're giving us foolish vibes. I just don't know what else to tell you. But
Yeah,
be better.
Just leave it at that.
Be truthful and be honest. That's all.
It's like you take 2 steps forward and then 10 steps back, Nikki. It's like you know, I'm not really big on Republicans or Democrats for that matter, but I try to listen to all of them and see. But it's like it seems like there's a couple times, Nikki, where she's going and she seems solid, and then stuff like this happens, and it's like
again, and then Chad, it's a lose-lose situation for you.
right.
See, if you'd have told the truth up front, folk would have looked at it. So some folk would have applauded you for being truthful, and then that other side would have been mad because they don't believe it was slavery either. Okay, cool. And you should have left it at that.
But see, she's trying to align with the MAGA people.
Exactly. So the next day, you don't have to get on a radio show and have to backpedal like Deion, because again, you lose. You lose by backpedaling. Because the people that would have applauded you and gave you hand claps are now looking at you like the only reason you're doing it is because you got called out. And then the people you were trying to appease, now they're saying, look at it, look how weak she is. She folded to criticism.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you in the article
situation.
They ask the person, an undeclared voter from New Hampshire. She was prepared to commit her vote to Haley, but was shocked by her comments. And this is what the lady was saying, the undeclared voter. She says, I'm not satisfied with her follow-up on it. She said, I think she is tiptoeing around the subject. When you are the president of the United States, you can't tiptoe around the Civil War. It's not a gray area. I'm horrified she's whitewashing this.
Chad, there it is right there. There it is in a nutshell. Say what it really is and keep it moving. You will garner more respect.
Respect, right.
Whether people like you or not, you will garner more respect from that. Instead of, like she said, whitewashing it. And then on the back end, flippantly, you know, be disrespectful to my people. So so Nikki, just be better. That's all. Be better.
We're gonna leave it at that, folks. We beat that horse into the ground. So again, a good topic for you, especially if some of my listeners are Republicans. No, I mean, no shade, you know, but just
hey, what it is.
If she's of interest to you, I would admonish you to check her out thoroughly. I would say the same thing for Biden if he did something, or anybody on the Democratic side.
That's right.
She just happens to be on the spotlight for folding and for backpedaling. So you know, this is something that we wanted to bring to your attention. So food to think about, because the elections will be coming up, and you know, this next election is going to be crucial.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, we will move into the book. Is that right? Inventor. I got to get my agenda together. No, we're going to move into the Inventor. I got you.
All right.
The Inventor. Excuse me. The Inventor this week his name is Hugh M. Brown. Hugh, H-U-G-H. Hugh M. Brown, 1851 to 1923. He invented the sewer backflow preventer. So your house don't smell like boo-boo and pee-pee? This is the man you need to be thinking. Yeah.
I know that's right.
Yeah. Hugh Brown was committed to improving people's living conditions as an educator with a practical mindset. He worked alongside prominent figures like Charles Chestnut, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Booker T. Washington to advance education. In addition to his work in education, Brown also invented a device combining his knowledge of prototype design engineering to trap sewer water and prevent it from flowing back into homes. He was awarded a patent for his prototype design and engineering invention in 1890, and his device to help people maintain a civilized living environment. Short and sweet today. Hugh Brown, Hugh Brown, sewer backflow preventer. Yes, sir.
Little things, Chad.
Little things.
Things you wouldn't even think about.
Right. Right.
Who made the sewer back prevention? A black man.
Yeah. Yeah. He said, we ain't gonna sit up here and live in poop.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That is unreal, man. As I say every podcast, man, our people are great, man.
Yep.
On every level, our people are great.
Every level.
Every level, our people are great, man. I'm telling you.
What fathoms me is all the inventions that blacks have created that we'll never know they did because they were taken.
Yeah, were stolen. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Not taken, Chad. They were stolen.
Yeah, stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. So
yeah, I tell you, man, that's great.
Hugh Brown, folks, sewer backflow preventer.
Wow. So that stuff don't back up in your house.
Right.
It don't back up in your house. That man, I tell you.
Woo. Can you imagine after Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Woo. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you, Hugh. We giving Hugh his flowers.
Hey, in the famous words of Andre 3000, thank you, smelling much.
Yeah, I know that's right. Thank you, smelling much.
All right, Pete, you next, right?
Oh, yes, sir. We have the book of the week, which is coming off the back of. I thought of this book on the back of our conversation we were going to have with about Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley. This book right here is something that is very, very thought provoking. It's very, it's heavy. It's heavy because most people wouldn't think about this unless somebody went out of their way to research this on a very deep level. Because you wouldn't think this would be prevalent, or you would never think this would happen. The book of the week this week is called "They Were Her Property." White women as slave owners in the American South. Let me repeat that again. The book of the week, "They Were Her Property." White women as slave owners in the American South. And this book is written by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. Stephanie E. Jones Rogers is the author of this book. She does an incredible job in this deep dive of white women owning slaves in the height of slavery and why they own the most slaves compared to white men. And I'm not going to give you this, no spoilers here. It's very, the reason why, or the several reasons why are astonishing, why white women own more slaves than white men during the height of slavery. And why they were so against Abraham Lincoln and the releasing of slaves and the freeing of slaves. It's deep. It's real deep. And it's a very good read. And it's going to open your eyes about a lot of things, not only then, a lot of things that affect now. And why some folk act the way they act.
And
I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, the book of the week. They Were Her Property. White women as slave owners in the American South. Oof. If if you choose to read it, just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Be prepared.
You tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna have to go get this. This is
Yes,
intriguing.
sir. Yes, sir. All right.
Mm.
Oh yes. Oh, I got the classic
Yeah,
album of the
you
week
got
this
the
week.
album. Yeah.
Oh, back to back, back to back.
Yeah, you back to back. Drake.
All right, all right. Let's. We like to be honest with our listeners and our viewers. Chad made me feel some type of way. I had an album already set up for you guys,
and it was fire. He should go ahead and use it. It's fire.
It's classic. It's a classic. It's a classic hip hop album.
Yeah.
But Chad made me feel. He said I was a R&B hater and all these other.
He was
things.
discriminating, y'all, against R&B.
He called me a discriminator against R&B and
he worked for AMC, y'all. He worked for AMC.
And a wannabe thug and all sorts of names. Just name calling his brother. That's
hey y'all, Pete low key thug. He's a low key thug. Don't let him fool you.
so I had to switch it up, and I'll say
that's Bumpy Johnson, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, not Bumpy. Let me go get Whisper. Hoodlum. That's a good movie. Go watch Hoodlum. But again, I had to switch up my album, so I'm doing an R&B album for Chad. So the classic album of the week is a barn burner. We like to say that listeners of music, sometimes your first album, and this may not possibly be the case for this artist, but sometimes that first album,
a lot of times,
may be your best.
It's the best, yeah.
And I'm not going to say that about this particular artist because she has some very good albums after this one, but this one
very good ones,
but this one
but you just negated all those other ones when you said but this one.
Yeah, I did, sir. Sir. But
see, there it is again. About 5 times.
This one right here.
It just hit different.
We're gonna go. Let me put it like that. That's a good word, Chad. This one, not taking anything away from the other ones, but this one
not
just
at all.
This one just hit different. And we're going to the fantastic, wonderful Jill Scott and her first album, Words and who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds, Volume 1. Man, this album right here, people lit. If y'all was there, y'all know we gonna take it back to the year 2000. The year 2000. Let's see what was on this album, Chad.
Run it down.
Do you remember? Man, exclusively getting in the way of
what I'm feeling.
But it was a manifesto to another young lady. That you getting in the way. You trying to mess up this good thing that
right.
And hey Chad, let's take a long walk.
After what? Okay, yeah.
After
dark, yeah.
Let's walk. Jill was on one.
She was.
Ooh, I think it's better that I tell you now. This album right here. He Loves Me.
Especially.
It's
Lee went.
This album was one of them, Chad.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
This is the one where now Pete's not a drinker. But this is what I like to say. This is one of them. These are one of these. Right. This is one of them the records where for my drinkers, this is where you get your cognac.
Not
right.
Yak.
You got to get the yak. This is brown liquor music. Yeah, this is brown liquor music. And you put that bad boy, you got to get this on vinyl and just start it at the beginning. And you just sit
crackle.
there.
We hear that crackle, that crackle, put that needle on the record. It's love. The little up tempo. It's love. Break up a little something.
Come on. That's that go-go music. Yeah.
That go-go jam. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is it the way you love
Me
Me,
baby.
baby. That's the not the way, Chad.
Doom 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 doom.
And then she hit that thing. Why? You love me.
Get it, Pete.
Boy,
Get it, Pete.
she hit you with that
Hey,
honey.
Pete, do it again. Is it what now? Do it again.
I can't do it no more. I can't replicate this.
That was a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. What I gave you was a masterpiece.
Pete said that's one take. You ain't getting no more. That's one take.
You ain't getting no more. Then she hit you with that honey molasses, the little snap with the joint. Yeah, the little finger pop. Yeah, they hit you with that one. And love rain down. But she hit you with that love rain. Chad, this was different. This was a different one right here.
And like my homeboy said, this one was a doozy.
Chad, this hit you with that slowly, surely. I run away.
You just gave me an idea for date night with the wife. You gave me a good idea. This right here.
One is the magic number. She hit you with that one. Then watching me.
Hold on, let's back up. Mm-hmm. See that one is spiritual, y'all. That's biblical.
Mm-hmm.
One is the magic number. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. He made Adam Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said the man shall leave his family and cling to the wife, and the two will be what?
Oh, hot to my glory.
I'm coming in a Honda. One is the magic number, boy. Y'all better listen.
That thing can preach, won't it? That thing can preach. Then she hit you with watching me. Then an ode to the brothers called Brother. Then show me after that. Then try that. Another banger. Mm-hmm. And then she hits us with the Love Rain remix at the end of the album.
Yes, sir.
And man, this Who Is Jill Scott is one of the, I guess you would be in that neo soul.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Area.
Genre. Yeah,
that area. And it's that album is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
For even though we heard Jill, on Roots albums, the Roots album, but this was her really coming out party.
Right. This was the breakout. Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, Chad, let's go back to where we first saw Jill. Do a little research now. If you go back in the 80s, around 80, it was 88 or 89.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Cool C from Philadelphia, rapper.
Okay.
Glamorous Life.
Yeah, you got it. The glamorous. Yeah.
You know who was the girl he was chasing in the video?
Get out.
Jilly from Philly. Look it up.
Are you serious?
Jilly from Philly. That's the first time we saw Jill Scott.
Wow.
Was in the Cool C Glamorous Life video. For you youngsters, go look it up. For you grown folk who didn't know, go look it up.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Yes, sir. The Cool C Glamorous Life video, that's the first time we see Jilly from Philly. And then we had no idea she had this talent, this amazing voice, and all of this. But that's where we first saw Jill Scott.
Wow.
And then on Roots albums, and then this album here in 2000. Yeah, and then again, albums after that have been phenomenal. The second album is.
That's true. It's bona fide. Yeah, no doubt.
I could put that in the classic category. The third album, I could kind of put close to classic as well. Those first three albums, I mean, all of them are great, but those first three.
You said it again, but.
Those first three, man, I tell you that it's been a long time. I'm trying to think of R&B artists 2000s or mid 90s, late 90s that had a 4 album run like Jill Scott. R&B,
I would have to say the closest, even remotely, would be Mary J. Yeah.
Blythe put out.
I would even remotely close. It would be Mary J.
Yeah, in that era.
In that
In
era,
that
yeah. In the
in
night.
that
Yeah, yeah.
era.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Anybody else outside of Mary J? Because you say
Uh
Mary J dropped her first album in what, 94? So a few
three,
years.
two, yeah, maybe four. Yeah. Might be 94,
Oh,
yeah.
it might be 92.
That's what I was thinking originally. I was like, was
It
it
might be
92?
92.
Yeah.
She might have dropped that first album in 92. With what's the 411 and all of those classic cuts.
Mm-hmm. Now you said R&B, right?
Yeah, R&B. Yeah,
Okay, so
it's gonna be
that would
hard.
be so by that time, 90s.
Say mid 90s through say 2010, somewhere in there, or a little after. It's gonna be hard.
I would have to go Luther too. I would have to go Luther.
90s
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah, because Luther was early. Luther started 70.
Luther's first album was, I think, came out 81. That's the one I was going to tell you about. Never Too Much.
Yeah. Okay, that was the first album. Okay.
August 12th, 1981.
Okay, so yeah, I think Luther's a little outside of the purview of what we're talking about.
Well, I was going to finish the statement by saying he was kind of on the way out, but if we're looking at that era, he's there because his last album that he put out was Dance with My Father. That was in 03.
But in that era of 90s through to
okay, so Luther had one, Never Let Me Go, in 93. He had the album Songs that came out in 94. Then Your Secret Love came out in 96. And then I Know came out in 98. Now, all albums went platinum except for I Know, which came out in 98. That went gold.
Right. Okay.
So.
Okay.
I know that's a curve nobody saw coming, but I'm like,
yeah.
And like I said, he may have been on the way out, but he was in there. You know what I'm saying? He was in the 90s. He dropped one in 91, 93, 94, 96, 98.
Okay.
So that's 5 albums in the 90s.
Yeah.
And like I said, all 4 out of the 5 went platinum.
Okay. But again, is that off name recognition or actual?
I mean, bro, come on, that's Luther. I'm pretty sure if I run down some of these songs, you're gonna be like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Classic, yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Classic.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue Luther. That's blasphemous. That's blasphemous right there. But yeah, I'm telling you, but the Jill Scott, who is Jill Scott? It's just one of those first albums that you look at and you're just like, whoa, who is this?
That album just sends you on a mental journey. Like I said, if you just sit back and just listen to it and you just hear what she's saying, you can she's a great storyteller because you can vividly see the picture that she's painting when she's singing. You know what I'm saying? Which is so dope about it. Because everybody don't have that gift.
Because she said, one of her most famous lines and getting in the way is, and we to this day, girl, don't make me take off these earrings and put on some Vaseline.
What? For all that you worth, $5.99 or something like that.
Something like that. I mean, so that's what me and Chad. When we bringing you classic albums should take you somewhere.
Right.
So where you first heard it, when you when you first heard whatever the song is, or you first heard this, that, and the third. That's what classic is.
Indeed.
Classic takes you back to a time period. Like the albums that we've previously discussed, the Paid in Fools and the Sade's and those albums take you back to, okay, Chad, get yourself together.
You said
get yourself together. This is a family podcast.
You can't say Sade without saying Sweetback.
And Sweetback is nice now. Trying to tell we going off.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna catch up. Go ahead.
But the classic album was
yeah.
Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds, Volume 1.
Indeed, indeed. All right, folks, we will move on to the Bible verse of the day. We'll wrap it up with this. So, we're gonna go with Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, which I think is needed today. Okay. And it reads, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Now, just a little quick backstory. We all know from history and what's been taught to us that the most dominant hand is the right hand. And that's why it's specifically stated in that verse. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That's my dominant hand. That's my powerful hand. So he's saying he's thinking enough of you to not hold you with his weak hand, but his dominant hand, the hand of power, the hand of strength. And he says, "Fear not, I got you." That's basically what he's saying. I got you.
Right.
Don't be dismayed. Don't be frazzled. I got you. I'm your God. I'll strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold you with my right hand. You understand? So now the other part, 90% of Christianity, this is the 90% of Christianity that people have a problem with is faith.
Right.
Because for the thinking man, there's a lot of logic and reason. Well, this couldn't happen because of this, and this couldn't happen because of that. And so faith doesn't align with their thinking.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, excuse me. But my thing is, with Christianity, the Bible is the most written, the most documented word in human history recorded. And you can debate and go back and forth about validity, what's true, what's not true. But to me, there's a reason why it's lasted for thousands of years that no other documentation has. And, you know, it's no shade to other documentations. I remember talking to a brother that was Muslim, and all respect to the Muslim, I have no shade or ill will, but you know, I guess he was trying to bring me over there, and I'm like, you know, I appreciate the gesture, but I'm cool. And you know, he was expressing his viewpoints about, you know, the Quran, you know, and all that good stuff. And I'm like, well, and that's cool. I know it has a lot of great information in there. I'm not knocking that. No disrespect again. But I was like, the Quran is kind of somewhat based off the Bible. You know, if you look at, you know, if you ever read it, you would see that. And I said, and then on top of that, the Quran references the Bible. The Bible never referenced the Quran. So why would I go with a book that's referencing another book? Might as well go to the source.
Right.
And so then, you know, we left that conversation. You know, we still cool. It's like I said, it was no beef. It was just a, you know, just a discussion. But and you know, listeners and viewers out there, you're gonna believe what you want. I'm not trying to force you to believe anything, but the word of God is never changed. Now I know that, you know, you have Bibles coming out every year, different versions and all that good stuff, and they kind of low key try to take out stuff here and there. But you know, you go back to the original, you'll see, you know, the true word. And you always want to pray for discernment and understanding and wisdom, so that God can speak to you and let you know what's real and what's not. But to me, faith is real, and I don't think there's going to be anybody or anything that's going to change that for me. So faith is real. God is real for me. And that's how we that's how we going to rock with this. And I'll be so bold as to say that, you know, Peter's in the same camp. And Pete, you keep me honest. But
oh, sure, yeah.
This is what we say and believe, and this is what we feel. And if you don't, it's all good. Ain't no love lost. Ain't no love lost. None at all.
No love, no love lost, no judgment, none of that.
None,
I mean, you know,
none of that.
You do what you do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You believe what you what religion, whatever the case may be. There's no judgment zone here on our podcast, because hey,
there's only one judge, and it ain't us.
We love everybody. So I mean, you know,
that's it.
Hey, that's it. So it is what it is, man. You know, You believe who you want to believe. You believe whatever religion you want to believe, and it is what it is. It's not for us to tell anybody what
But as
is
far
what.
as
I
for
mean, yeah, as far as how they want to do things in their lives, that's not for us to tell people to do. I mean,
right.
So again,
But as for me and Pete, we
I
gonna serve
feel
the
you.
Lord.
I feel you. Yes,
So
sir.
that's it. Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. I'm gonna leave you with that. Pete, anything else,
Mhm.
man, before we wrap up with the Marcus Garvey quote, man?
Always, man. As we on my last thing is, first of all, love yourself, man, and love your people, man. Love the people around you, whether it's your family, friends, neighbors, whatever the case may be, man. Just love, man. That's the word. Try to love everybody
That's
to
it.
the fullest, fullest extent, man. As best as possible, because at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We're not perfect, but we
We
all
all
deserve
fall
love.
short.
Yeah, but we all deserve love. We all deserve love. So
Agreed.
love yourself first, man, and love your people, man.
Indeed, indeed. And as usual, folks, we're going to always wrap it up with the famous quote from Marcus Garvey. Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. So therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent. Marcus Garvey. And folks, one more thing. This is our last one for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We wish you peace, love, and blessings in the new year. And we hope you will stay with us because the new year is going to be bigger and better.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, guys, take care. That's it. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. Be blessed, be safe, and we are out.
All right. Peace.